What would you do if the woman you lived with looked you in the eye, in front of strangers, and said, "You can't even satisfy me, let alone provide for me"? That's the moment my whole relationship cracked in half. My name's Jake. I'm 29. For 8 months I dated Melissa, 23. At first it was good laughs, late nights, plans for the future. Then came the comments. Subtle at first, sharp later. I own a plumbing business. Not glamorous, sure, but it pays better than most real jobs. Last year, over $160,000. I own my house outright. No rent, no debt. Emergency calls, commercial contracts, new construction, I'm booked out for months. Still, Melissa wasn't proud of it. She worked as a manager in a luxury boutique downtown. Every day she was surrounded by money, status, shiny handbags, and suddenly, dating me felt like a downgrade in her world. "Why can't you get a normal job like everyone else?" That's what she asked me once, dead serious. Like building something from nothing wasn't normal enough. Soon she was pushing for a bigger house in a fancier neighborhood. Then came the digs about my future. All my coworkers' boyfriends have real careers. The final straw? A text one Friday. Melissa wanted to try a new upscale restaurant downtown. $40 steaks. Not really my style, but I agreed. Then she added, "I invited Ashley and Madison from work, and their boyfriends. You'll finally meet them." I knew it was a setup, but I went. That night I sat at a table with Melissa, her boutique friends, and 2 office guys bragging about campaigns and portfolios. From the first handshake, I could see the script she'd written. I just didn't know how far she'd push it. The introductions felt rehearsed. Ashley smiled, like she was hosting a commercial. "This is my boyfriend Kevin. He's in digital marketing." Then Madison chimed in. "And this is Brad. He works in corporate finance." Their voices carried pride, polished and deliberate. Then came Melissa's turn. "This is Jake. He runs a maintenance company. Not plumber, not business owner, maintenance company. Like I was pushing a mop, not running contracts worth thousands." The conversation dragged. Kevin and Brad talked about campaigns and portfolios like they were solving world hunger. Melissa dodged every real question about my work, making me sound smaller each time. Halfway through dinner, Kevin mentioned his big surprise for Ashley. "We're flying to Bermuda next month. All inclusive. Just us." Melissa lit up. "Jake and I never do anything like that." I stared at her. We'd already talked about Costa Rica this summer. She brushed it off like it didn't count. Then Madison twisted the knife. "Brad and I went to Napa last month. Wine country is so romantic." Melissa leaned in. "See? Some people know how to plan real dates." The table went quiet, except for the smug smiles on her friends' faces. I clenched my jaw, knowing the worst was still coming. The air at that table grew heavier with every word. I tried to steer the conversation away, but Melissa wouldn't let it go. "Let's stop pretending, Jake. Our relationship? Our future? What future? You're just running a little maintenance business forever." Her voice cut like glass. "You can't even satisfy me, let alone provide for me." Ashley gasped. Madison's fork froze mid-air. Kevin and Brad shifted in their seats, half uncomfortable, half entertained. I sat there, stunned, and then I laughed. Not a nervous laugh, a sharp, almost cruel one. "You think Kevin and Brad are more successful than me?" Melissa's eyes widened. "They have real careers, Jake. Ambition, sophistication." I turned to Kevin. "Digital marketing, right? What do you make a year, if you don't mind me asking?" Melissa hissed under her breath. "Jake, don't." Kevin swallowed. Around 70. Brad followed. "About 85. I leaned back in my chair, still smiling. "Cute. Last year I made 160. Silence. You could have heard the wine pour itself. Melissa's face turned crimson. "Money isn't everything." I shook my head. "You just said I couldn't provide for you. Looks like money mattered until the numbers didn't fit your story." The waiter dropped the bill. $150 for 6 people. I slid $40 on the tray. my share, and nothing more. Then I stood. Thanks for dinner. Good luck with your sophisticated friends. And I walked out, leaving Melissa speechless in front of the image she valued more than reality. That walkout wasn't drama. It was a line in the sand. She chose status. I chose self-respect. That night, my phone lit up with texts. Jake, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Ashley had to lend me money for my share. Please, just send me something on Venmo. I didn't answer. At midnight, she showed up at my door, mascara streaked, begging to talk. I locked my bedroom and let her cry in the hallway. Sunday morning, she was gone. A note on the counter. I'll stay at Ashley's for a few days while you cool off. That afternoon, I stopped at the hardware store, and fate threw me a curveball. In the parking lot, I heard my name. Jake? Oh my God, it's you! It was Emma, a girl I knew from high school. She'd just moved back to town last month and was working at the hospital as a nurse. Smart, funny, down-to-earth, the kind who didn't need labels to feel important. We caught up for an hour, right there beside the carts. We should grab coffee sometime. Her smile was genuine. I gave her my number, and for the first time in months, I felt something other than exhaustion. Tuesday, we met for coffee. 3 hours of talking flew by: family, work, dreams. When I told her I owned a plumbing business, her eyes lit up. That's incredible, Jake. Most people our age are buried in rent. You built something real. Her words hit me harder than Melissa's insults ever did. By Wednesday, Emma was at my house. I grilled burgers, we laughed at an old movie, and she looked around my place with wide eyes. You own this whole house? That's amazing. For once, someone didn't see plumber. They saw accomplishment. Meanwhile, Melissa's texts kept coming. Then Friday, she even called my mom, crying about how she'd made a mistake. My mom didn't mince words. She laughed and told Melissa it was her loss. That weekend, Emma and I went out on a real date. No tension, no games, just someone proud to be beside me. 1 week after that restaurant disaster, I was in my garage fixing up some tools when the doorbell rang. I wiped my hands, opened the door, and there she was. Melissa, crying, 2 suitcases at her feet. Jake, thank God you're home. I've been thinking all week. I can fix this. I want to move back in. I just stared. You can't just move back in. She clutched my arm. I was wrong, okay? Ashley and Madison told me I was crazy for saying those things. We can work through it. I shook my head. Melissa, your friends had to tell you you messed up. That's not love. That's reputation control. Before she could reply, another car pulled into the driveway. Emma stepped out, carrying Thai takeout and a bottle of wine. Melissa froze. Her face drained white. Who is that? I didn't flinch. That's Emma, my girlfriend. Emma walked up, kissed me quick on the cheek. Hey babe, I brought dinner. Everything okay? Melissa spun toward me, shaking. Girlfriend? Jake, are you kidding me? We live together. I cut her off. You packed your bags? You left. That's called moving out. Emma extended a polite hand. Hi, I don't think we've met. Melissa's voice cracked. I'm Melissa, his girlfriend. I stepped between them. Ex-girlfriend. And no, Melissa, we're not working things out. She begged for another chance, tears dripping onto the concrete. But every word reeked of regret for her own image, not for us. After a few minutes, she dragged her suitcases back into her car and drove away. Emma looked at me, confused. What was that about? So I told her everything, and her reaction was perfect. When I finished telling Emma the whole story, she shook her head in disbelief. Who says something like that to someone they claim to love? Her words cut deeper than Melissa's insults ever could because they were true. Melissa hadn't cared about me. She cared about appearances. She wanted bragging rights, a shiny label to flash at her coworkers. She gave up real security for a facade, and in the end, the mask slipped. 6 weeks later, Emma and I were solid. She was proud to tell people about my business, proud to walk into my house and say, "This is his." She respected the grind it took to build something from nothing. Melissa? I heard she moved back in with her parents. I'd already blocked her number, no more midnight apologies. Kevin admitted it when we ran into each other at a gas station. She'd been miserable since the breakup, asking about me constantly. The truth is simple. Melissa threw away substance for status, and now she's left with nothing but the echo of her own choice. And you know what stings most for her? She didn't lose to me. She lost to herself. So here's my takeaway. Sometimes the best revenge isn't shouting or proving yourself. It's just stepping aside, letting people face the weight of their own decisions. What do you think? Was I right to shut the door on her for good? Or was I too cold? If this story made you feel something, drop a comment, hit that like button, and subscribe.